Welcome from my side. Yeah, my name is Thorsten Spielmann, and thanks for joining the session today, even if it's late afternoon. Maybe some people already on the way back. I'm not sure. Yeah, some people trying to do the batch right now. I think that's also right now happening. So thanks for joining this session. And today it's all about data migration. You saw maybe at the keynote at the first day of Sören Ruder, there are the different pillars with build, run, and migrate, and all this stuff. Yeah, scope. And today we are focusing on the scope, on this migrate part, and it's all about how we transition our customers to S4. And therefore, there are two journeys available. If you consider you to move to S4HANA, yeah, there's for our existing iBase, yeah, for the installed customers, we have this so-called RISE journey, and we have the growth journey for the net new customers. And if the customer decides now to move to the cloud, there are immediately the first questions popping up, yeah. How do I really get to the cloud fast, safe, and very important nowadays also cost effective? So our customers, if you talk to them, they expect from us much more guidance. So they're asking, where's the guidance from SAP? So because they have a lot of challenges about business disruption, yeah, about the data quality, about the speed of the transition, which is for a lot of customers too complex and it takes too much time, yeah. But also, there are different paths available to move to S4HANA. Also, which one is the best one for me, yeah? Also, these are the questions, and always it's like, SAP, you should know it the best, yeah? Because you are a software vendor, you offer all the tools for this, yeah? And I need no options, I will read real guidance from your side, yeah? And so that's why there are a lot of discussions with the customers also about this topic like data. Which data do we need at all for the future? Yeah, do I start from scratch? Do I need some history? Do I take over all the data? All these questions pop up, and at the end, what we want to do now with the so-called SAP Business Transformation Center, we want to provide here a unified methodology, a guided path, step by step, which is then valid for all kind of transitions to S4. This means we start with the transition guidance. It's more about this topic, where do I really, which path is the best one based on my data, but also based on the business requirements for the future. We cover the data scoping and data preparation, so with all this data optimization, data quality topics. We support in this methodology also this so-called streamlined system transition. This means we provide you a solution to guide you and to automate the steps to move the systems to the cloud. And for sure, we have this, let's say, 3 transformation approaches for the execution, the conversion, we have the selective data transition, and we have the new implementation in place here. And last but not least, also valid for all transitions, we have the so-called business data validation, where we validate the data with business reports from the LOBs to ensure also that the figures before and afterwards, the balances, all the stuff is the same as before, yeah. And this all, let's say, integrated on Cloud ALM in a sequence. And also here, some tools are not new. Some are already existing since a couple of years, but now what we did, we really integrate them, that the result, for example, of the scoping is used for the execution of the transformation, so that it's not only loose tools, that it's really integrated and that we use the outcome of one tool and already use this outcome for the next step, yeah. So this is really fully integrated at the end. And you will see now maybe also some names behind. These are the product names. And I will guide you now through the different products we have here. And for sure, at the end, you will also see this demo, live demo, so it's not a video. I hope it works, yeah. So first of all, we start with transition guidance. So it's the entry point for our customers when they move to the cloud with their system. So they have normally an ECC system on-prem. And now the question is always, yeah, how do I move now which path is the best one. So that's why we have this fine transformation approach app on Cloud ALM, where you get based on your data and the system in combination with some questions, a so-called assessment with a recommendation, what's the best path forward for you. Based on this, you can directly create on Cloud ALM a transformation project with all the necessary steps for this transition. And at the end, you can also then jump directly from different artifacts like the scoping blueprint directly into the app. Yeah. So from the project, from the task, directly connected to the app. So you can really jump around and you will have the full guidance step by step what needs to be done here. Yeah. As a next step, we have the scoping. So this is really very easy and really a quick start into analyzes your source system based on data now. It's not Signavio, which is more process related. It's really data. So which data is in the system? How old is the data? How much data is there? And it's really nice also visualized that you can easily identify where's the data in the system and maybe can also make decisions which data do I really need in the future system. Yeah. So you get immediately also data-driven recommendations from our side, yeah, in the so-called digital blueprint. So, for example, there's a company code which is not used since 3 years, you don't need this anymore, or you have a lot of data, you have 7 terabytes of data and system is 40 years old. You could cut last couple of years, yeah, only take over this data, so you get some recommendations already. Yeah. And for sure, also this is also valid for the custom tables or third-party applications. And at the end, it's a single source of truth. So, in the past, when I was in consulting, we had the Excel sheets and they just moved around via email. And at the end, you had, after 1 week, 20 versions, yeah? So which one is now the relevant one, yeah? So that's why here also we have this central digital blueprint to collaborate. And we always say it's a single source of truth for the project. At the end, you can even confirm it, export it as a PDF, and can say, okay, that's also now for the audit, that's our decision. So we have really now fixed all this stuff, and you can really document this for your project. Now there's something new, so that's why you see the asterisk. It's not available right now. It will be released beginning of December, probably. Yeah. So at least this was the last information I got. So we have here now. This is an initial program launched. How can we use AI to speed up also the transition and to bring more quality? And here we analyze the system, for example, for inconsistencies. So before you move to S4, which data inconsistencies are in the system. And even then, with the help of AI, we make some recommendations how to fix it. So the recommendations is the first phase now on December. In 2026, there will be then also this automated cleanups then, yeah. So it's a 2-phase approach. Actually, you got the recommendations how to fix it, and the next step, it will be also possible to automate these steps. But also, it's possible to identify the relevance of data, so the age of data, and make also here decisions if maybe something can be archived, or also here, this will be more and more automated then, yeah. So this is something which is pretty new, and so we see here really a big benefit for our customers because this topic of data quality and inconsistencies is always a big one before they can start a transition. Then this so-called streamlined system transition. There's the RISE with SAP System Transition Workbench, which just automates steps to move the system from on-prem to the cloud. So this means our operator, so ECS, Enterprise Cloud Service, yeah, it's aligned with them, and we have really automated over 1,500 steps to make this really an easy, straightforward process and also a scalable process, because we always receive complaints, it takes too long, and every partner does it differently. Yeah, that's why we automated this here. Yeah, and you can also trigger here already then the conversion or the migration from this point here. I think that's probably the most prominent one. You all know probably, yeah, the three paths you have here, yeah. So we have the conversion, you migrate as is, yeah, everything in the system. It's like an upgrade, straightforward. We have on the right side, we have the new implementation. So there we start from scratch with open items and master data. And in the middle now, it's, let's say, from a product perspective, the new kit here, the lean selective data transition, which was so far from SAP point of view only a service approach. So this was my home before I joined development. So now we have here a standardized product. It's called lean selective data transition, where you can select based on company code and time slice the data to move it over to S4. And last but not least, this business data validation with the data validation tool. It's at the end, you can imagine the business normally also on a go live runs before some reports. There are famous FI reports, balances, all this stuff. And after the go live, after the migration is done, normally there's again this report and the figures must be the same. Otherwise, we had a problem in the migration, yeah. And to automate this, we have this business data validation tool, which at the end contains 70 standard reports of SAP, and you just run it automatically before the migration. You run it afterwards, and it will be compared automatically, and you get the traffic lights. If the figures are the same, it's green, or if it's not the same, it's red. Yeah, so you can really speed up also here the decisions, especially if you have maybe a short downtime and you have to speed up your go live decision on Sunday afternoon in a typical project. Then it's also here something we really automate and speed up this process. So it's really heavily used and highly recommended. Yeah, we get really good feedback for this. Yeah. The UI could be a little bit more modern, but the outcome is good, yeah. We work on that also, yeah. And maybe, yeah, famous topic here also, the tool chain, the integrated tool chain. Also here you will see then, we are part of Cloud ALM. We are developed on Cloud ALM with the most apps we have here. And so we are also part for this data migration and conversion piece here and integrated in the tool chain. So fully with the project management and all the stuff, so that we can really follow also here the flow for the integrated tool chain. So we are on Cloud ALM. This means everybody who has the enterprise support, a RISE contract, or any cloud subscription is allowed to use Cloud ALM. And so you get also the Business Transformation Center then with this for free. Yeah. This means no additional tool costs for the migration. It's all included already and part of Cloud ALM. And I think that's also the topic I would like to show you now, really in a demo, a little bit the flow. The flow would be, I would upload some data from the analysis file and just do the transformation approach finder to identify which approach is the right one, and then create a blueprint, and that's mainly the flow I would like to show you. Yeah, for sure migration would take too much time, but let's give it a try. I hope the network supports here, but before it was looking fine, yeah. So let me see. You see here the launchpad, yeah, and there's this tab transformation, and if you go to the transformation, you will see now here these are the different apps you have for the process here. We start at the beginning here with the find transformation approach. I prepared some file already, so this is not something I need to do now. So I create this transformation approach finder, I give it a name, LM Summit 2025, sorry. And you can select, okay, ECC to private cloud, for example. You can select here the path. And there are two files, so you have to implement two nodes you have to upload. The maintenance readiness check file, there's more the technical details about the age and about modifications, and the so-called usage and data profiling file where you have some information about the data in the system. Yeah. So let's take this one and then just create. And now we have the first feedback here, yeah. We see how old is the system, how big is the system, the extensibility, how is it used, which company codes are in the system, how old are the company codes, and also which application components are used, number of modifications, and all this stuff. So you get the first impression here, yeah. And based on this, we have now the data-driven part. So we get the first recommendation because of the age and the usage of the company codes. Our first impression here, based on data, is the selective data transition could be the right approach. But I mentioned it's only data-driven now, but based on the history, it does not mean we can decide what's good for the future, yeah, because there are business requirements. If I want to move to the cloud, do I have to consolidate systems? That's why we need, in addition, this so-called questionnaire, where you can jump in and answer a couple of questions here. At the end, there are 8 main questions. It's really, we keep it really low, the level here, not too much into details. And you can answer here some questions about, for example, do you plan to consolidate a system or several systems, or do you need historical data? Do you want to start from scratch? Do you need to design the processes newly? Yeah? So this is something we just ask here. And based on this, you will have different recommendations at the end. Yeah? So it could be now system conversion, selective data transition, or also new implementation. So I will just, let's say, don't go for this now. I will just say, okay, save, go back. And just to speed up a little bit without answering all these questions, I would say, let's create a transformation project now, yeah? There's RM Summit. Doesn't matter, I will just keep it big. I can select here the target product. This will be next week automatically done based on my transformation approach finder. Actually, it's still manually. And also this one will be then pushed. And you could also integrate this now in an existing Cloud ALM project. If you have a bigger project, for example, you can also choose a project and this sub-project would be integrated then in Cloud ALM. So I create a project. And then you see we have the ALM Summit project, and there you go to on the right side, deliverables. We have 4 blocks. We have the technical prerequisites to set up the systems, set up the cloud connector, all the stuff. And then we have the different steps to do the scoping, to translate the scoping, and to execute then at the end the migration here. So let's assume the prerequisites are done. So I want to do the scoping. There are 10 tasks to do. The file is already uploaded, so I can skip this. You can also track it here. And what I want to do now is really then, because the files are prepared and uploaded, I want to start here with the create blueprint. And you see also here, whenever you have this kind of symbol here on the right side, you can directly jump to this app. So it's not that you have to go back to the tiles and select this app. You can also jump here in between. And now let's create this blueprint. So it's already, the project is there, ALM, Summit, blueprint. I select an analysis file, this one, and I select the system scan, which I also prepared because this takes a couple of minutes. And I create now this blueprint. So it's available now. And let's go first to the overview, and then I can show you a little bit more. So first of all, you see in the system there are 61 company codes. You see also how the data is distributed over the different components. You see the scan tables with the custom table stuff. Yeah, there are some tables with data. The one which are gray are tables which are already descoped because they are empty. And you see overall the footprint reduction. Yeah, what we have here now. Actually, 100% of the system will be taken over. Yeah. And then you start normally with the company code selection. So that's normally the entry point. You can easily jump on it. And you get now insights for all company codes in the system. Yeah? And it's only based on a file you uploaded before. That's really easy. I just remove the group. This is something which hinders me in the sorting. And I would start now, and I say, okay, let's start with the system, the company codes the last activity. Yeah, so it's an old test system. There's not much data inside. Yeah, but you see, the most of the company codes even don't have any transactional data. They have a couple of. If there's no transactional data or no activity, and there are some data counts, it's only master data. Yeah. So the last activity means there was at the end a booking in finance. Yeah. And you see there are some company codes in. You can even, and you see also the data in this company code, so the volume of the data. And if you want to have more details per company code, you can even go deeper, discuss with the business, and you get all insights about the org units, about the data used, so the different business objects, transactional data, and even how it's distributed over years. You see also here in a nice graphic, when was the data created, where's the main data in the system. So you can really have all the details, including then also always this important, the open items in the system. Yeah, maybe you want to clean up this before you do the transition. This means here I can now go back, and for demo purposes I will just select one company code. I will keep this one just to see it. I go to mass edit. You can make a comment, so who decided this, why, out of scope, and you save it, and now it's, see immediately it's out of scope. And if you go back now to the overview, you see also it's not that much right now maybe, but it's already reduced. And you see also already the impact also for the different areas. So the gray one is, let's say, not in scope anymore and will not be transferred. So this is one part, yeah. And in the title of this session, there was also this so-called time slice, which is new since January, let's say. Yes, it's not that new anymore. And with a time slice, you have now the big advantage that you can on top say, okay, I just want to take over the last 2, 3, 4 years of the data. So this is then automatically executed and applied then. Yeah. Let's go for this. For this, I have to go back to the manage digital blueprint, because so far we did not activate it. So it's inactive. We have the org slice because I've selected the so-called company codes. And here we have this. I will go to edit and activate it. So active, and I can decide now. I see also here, how's the data distributed. How many years of the system I want to take over. So because it's very important also for our customers, it's also feedback to reduce the system size, because when you move to the cloud, for sure also the system size with the memory extensions plays a big role in the cost topic. Yeah. So minimum is 2 years, below we don't allow. Let's say we go 2023, apply this, save it, and then you will see maybe the difference. I hope so. Yeah, at least a little bit more. And so we have some customers really with this 40-year-old system. They have really reduced the system size by 70%, 75%. Yeah. So which is a big advantage, even if they would be maybe probably perfect conversion customer because they don't want to change anything. It's a big advantage that you can reduce the system size, and you build really a solid foundation also for your future business. And especially, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the conversion. Sometimes you have to fix a lot of inconsistencies in the system, which are at the end not relevant anymore because this data is 20, 25 years old. Yeah. And if you don't migrate it at all, you can also save the time to fix this data. So after this is done, at the end, the last step is always to confirm the blueprint. There are some warnings because I did not do all the steps, but I will confirm it now. So now it cannot be changed anymore. You can for sure copy it and create a new one based on these decisions, but now it's really confirmed. And in comparison to past, when I was consultant, now we started normally, we have this document, we have a Word document in Excel, we start to implement now all the rules, the selection rules for the data, yeah, manually. So it's time consuming, and for sure also, yeah, you can do a lot of errors, yeah, if you do this manually. And now it's really easy, so this is now really no code, yeah, ALM, sorry, SLM. I think the implementation is now exactly, let's wait, that's the implementation task. So now it's done. This means now all these rules we decided now with the company code selection, time slice we applied, all the stuff is now done. All the selection rules are generated already, and we are ready to create then at the end the first test cycle. So you create a version of this to fix this. So, and at the end, after this, you create then just V1, create. So it's now a version of this one. And with this, you start a cycle. And the cycle, you just make a pre-validation of the system's source target must be fine, everything in place, all nodes in place, and then you push the button, and then the data will be transferred finally. Yeah? And at the end, we also integrated here, and in this transfer, this data transition validation tool. So this means also this can be then included. So at the end, you can also compare the data before and afterwards, and you can make quick decisions here. Yeah? So this versioning takes some time, but that's the last step before creating the cycle. Now you would create a cycle and start with the first test. This means also it's really straightforward. You can do immediately, really fast the first test cycle. You make experience with your own data in a S4 environment. So this helps you really a lot to also collect this experience and maybe refine also the scoping then at the end. So, but from the effort, it's really fully guided, and you cannot do something wrong at the end, yeah, because we don't allow any selections, for example, because we often ask, can I also select now on object level, yeah? Can I deselect purchase orders or financial documents? If we would allow this, this would, yeah, at the end lead to an inconsistent system, yeah. That's why it's a standard product. For these special cases, it's my former team, the DMLT in SAP or partner teams outside, where I can do these special requirements, but from a standard perspective, we cannot support this. We have to ensure that at the end, everybody can execute this. And we have to then also make sure that the system is afterwards consistent. That's why we don't allow these special selections here. Yeah. There are some further topics on the roadmap, like the account to ledger, which means if you're on a classic account, classic ledger, account ledger, you can move to the new GL, yeah, on the fly with the migration. But also the chart of account harmonization is also something which is on the roadmap, because from our experience, this is also nearly in all the projects you need to somehow harmonize the chart of account. That's why it's also there, yeah. Next year it's on the roadmap, beginning of next year. So you will have also these solution patterns on top. So let's just go back. Not that much time anymore. So yeah, any questions from your side regarding this? Yes. Yeah, it's at the end you create an empty system. It's a so-called shell system based on your ECC system, and you connect this system with the Cloud LM, and at the end you just transfer the data. There's no implementation. The implementation was really when I click create from the blueprint create now this transformation model. This was the implementation. There's no further implementation done. Yeah. And the data will be moved via RFC. Also, this is sometimes a question. The data is not that there's any business data in the public cloud, in Cloud ALM. At the end, we orchestrate, and there's a direct connection between the ECC system and the target system via RFC, and the data flow will be between the two systems. If you, it's you could say it's like a conversion approach. Yeah, we move the data to the target, and then we convert it using the standard conversions from the software update manager from the conversion. This means all the routines, all the logic. So it's also the software update manager and the migration cockpit is also developed by the same department, and we just reuse the logic of them. Yeah, including this financial conversion, which is also used in the SUM. Yeah. To custom tables will be transferred one-to-one. Third-party tables also one-to-one. Yeah. So if the table is there set, but in this area we allow you to deselect because we say, okay, if you decide not to take over the set table or whatever, yeah, then feel free. It's not our business. Yeah. This is something we allow, but this will be also definitely supported. Yeah. This could be the next step. Yeah. In the tool chain. Exactly, yeah, but you're right, yeah. I think these are the topics now we have to, yeah, push in also, yeah, these test cases, because for sure, even if this is now a standard product from SAP, you need to test, yeah, also independent from the approach. If it's lean selective data transition or if it's a conversion, at the end you need to test, and that's why it's also important to have these test cases definitely. Yeah. Further questions? If not, I think the time is over, yeah? If not, there's also a QR code with some questions, so feel free. If you have some time, I think the colleague told me it's open next, I think at least today. So if you have some time, feel free to answer here some questions, and that's it from my side. So if you have nothing to do, thanks. Then a nice finish of the RLM Summit. Yeah, it's